Hello and welcome to my study channel Study League. Dear students, today we are going to discuss about a new chapter and it's a poem from the class 10th NCERT textbook. The poem that we are going to do today is Dust Up Snow. It has been composed by the great American poet Robert Frost. Although it's a very small poem, but it has a great moral. It has a lot of meanings to teach all of us. So, without any delay, let us move into the poem and get to know what are the things involved here. And we will be also discussing about the theme. We will explain the stanzas as it has got only two stanzas, so we will be explaining it line by line. And after that, we will also discuss about the literary devices that has been used by the poet in this particular poem. So let us move into the poem. So dear students, you will find that this particular poem has been composed by the great American poet Robert Frost. You might have heard about Robert Frost and must have studied a great poem written by him in class 9th, The Road Not Taken. I do believe that you must have studied that particular poem, and he was mainly a poet who used to write about the nature, who used to write about the natural beauty and the scenery. Whatever he observed around him, he always took it into his pen and tried to bring out something great, a literary work with some values from that. So in this particular poem, Robert Frost tells us how small and insignificant things brings a great change in life. The poem is a symbolic poem by nature. As we go through the poem, then there we will encounter very important and very beautifully applied two symbols. And these two symbols I'll be explaining to you, I'll be telling you in details, but let us just simply know that it's a symbolic poem, and here he has applied two different symbols. The symbols used in the poem vividly expresses the mood and attitude of the poet. Life is never the same. It is full of ups and downs, good and bad. This poem also teaches us that hard times and struggle are not everlasting. Dear children, this is the most important point that we are going to learn from this particular poem. You always keep it in mind that life is never the same. Life is never a static phenomenon. It is dynamic. It keeps changing. Each and every moment brings you a different experience in life. So, there would be some good times in your life, there would be some bad times in your life, there would be some moments when you will be very much glorified, there will be moments when you will be humiliated. So, you need not worry about all such experiences that you find in your life. In this particular poem, the poet teaches us that hard times and struggle are not everlasting. Whatever the bad times you have in your life, whatever the tough, whatever the most difficult situations that is there in front of you, is not going to be there forever and ever. It has a short time fun, and after that it will bring to you the everlasting joy. So that is the most beautiful thing. It gives us positivity in mind, and it is highly inspirational. So let us get to the poem and understand it line by line. So here you can see, I would like to recite the poem for you all. This is a very small poem, my dear children, written by Robert Frost. It goes like this: the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. I would like to repeat it for you. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. So my dear students, in the very beginning of the second stanza, the poet has written that has given my heart a change of mood. What does this signify? What do you understand from this? This tells you that in the beginning of the poem, when he was coming under a tree, at that particular poet time, the mood of the poet was different, and when the dust of snow from the hemlock tree fell upon him, there is a change in the mood that he has experienced. So, in the very beginning, in the first stanza, the poet has beautifully applied two great symbols to simply show his mood. What was his attitude on that particular day, how he was taking the day, and how he was going to spend the day is being beautifully described by two symbols that he has mentioned in the first stanza. So, what are those two symbols? Those two symbols are crow and hemlock tree. Let me just tell you what a crow signifies. You know that crow is never associated with something good. Crow is always associated with sad, death, or something very bad that is going to happen in your life. In the same way, hemlock tree is considered to be a poisonous tree. So, what do you understand from here? You get to know that in the very beginning of the poem, in the very beginning of the day, the poet was very much disappointed. The poet was very much upset. He was very much unhappy. He was sad, and he had already ruined the first part of the day. He, in this particular poem, has confessed that of a day I had ruined. He had destroyed the first part of the day. He confesses here that he had destroyed the first part of the day because of his upset, because of his unhappiness, because of his disappointment, because of his mood that he was carrying on that particular day. He has destroyed half of the day. Now, what is happening? A crow was there sitting at the top of the tree, and suddenly the crow shook the tree, and as a result of that, some flakes of snow started falling on the poet who was sitting under the tree, or who was standing under the tree. Now, what is happening here? As soon as the snow flakes started falling on him, started pouring on him, there we can find that that has brought a new energy into his mind. It has brought a transformation in his body, and now he is feeling very much relaxed. He is feeling very much renewed. He is feeling very much refreshed. Now he has developed a completely new mindset. Now he has developed a completely new mood, and now that is why he is saying that, and saved some part of a day I had ruined. In the very second stanza, if you read it, there you get to know that the snowflakes that fell on him, it changed the mood of the poet, has given my heart a change of mood. It brought a change in his mind, it brought a change in his soul. Suddenly he felt very much comforted. Suddenly he felt very much refreshed and renewed and transformed. And he thought that, he told that I had destroyed half of the day, but now this change in the mood is going to bring me something good, and definitely I would be able to enjoy the rest of my day. So, in this way, dear children, the poet has beautifully explained about the change of his mood that was caused due to the snow that fell from a hemlock tree. Now, let us move into the analysis of this particular poem. Let us get to know that what are the literary devices the poet has tried to use in this particular poem. So, as you go through the poem, there you would find that the poem has beautiful rhyme scheme. The rhyme scheme is a important literary device that has been used by this particular poet. And what is the rhyme scheme? If you go through the lines, then there you can find it very easily that the first line rhymes with the third line, and the second line rhymes with the fourth line. So that's why the rhyme scheme is A B A B in the first stanza, and it can be said C D C D in the second stanza. Besides that, he has also used metaphor. Let me tell you what is metaphor. Metaphor means, uh, uh, making a comparisons, a contrast comparisons, opposite comparisons. What is the opposite comparisons that he has made over here? Flecks of snow has been compared to dust. You can definitely, you must have seen the snow accumulated at the top of a tree, and that always falls in the form of a flake. Okay, it always falls in the form of a flake. It doesn't fall in the form of dust. They are not very fine particles. So here the poet has written that that was the dust of snow. So here he is comparing the flake of snow with the dust of snow. That is why that's a metaphor that has been used by him. Now let us come to the alliteration. What is alliteration? This is another literary device that you should know. Alliteration refers to the use of consonant sounds multiple times in a line. If in a particular line in a stanza, in a single line, if the consonant sound is getting repeated, then that is alliteration. So let us see what are the alliterations used here. Has given my heart. In the first line of the second stanza, has given my heart, I have highlighted it in my video also. You can easily get to understand it. Has, it starts with the H sound. Similarly, heart, it also starts with the H sound. Her is a consonant sound. Her, has, heard. It shows that he has applied the alliteration in the same way. And saved some part, again he has applied the alliteration in the uh, third line of the second stanza. Saved, sir, and some, sir. Here we can see that the sir sound has been repeated in the this particular line. So in this way he has used alliteration also. Besides that, the most beautifully used literary device in this particular poem is the symbols. What are the two symbols that has been used or applied by the poet here? The two symbols are crow and the hemlock tree. That is what I have already taught you while explaining the stanza. So with this, I hope you all have understood the poem now, and you will definitely be going through the poem again. Go through it, read my explanations, read the literary devices explanations that I have given in this video. Take note of this, prepare your own notes, and the more you read it, the more you recite it, the more you would be able to understand and appreciate the beauty of this particular poem. So that's all. Thank you.